Dear students, once again, welcome to the online lecture of sociology. We are discuss about the first topic of sociology, ancient and medieval India, which one is based on the religious study of Indian society. Now the second topic is the colonial period, which one is based on the impact of British on Indian society during the colonial period, how society was emerged, which institution was already established, and how British people enacted the different laws, administration policies, etc. And now the third topic of the first unit is post-independence India, after the India's independence. This is the last topic of the first unit, post-independent India. After independence, the goals and programs of the country have seen numerous changes. Our ancient culture and British period had mixed impact on our thought patterns, behavior, goals, aspiration, needs, and so on. Means the goals and programs of our country, which one it changes rapidly after the India's independence. Alongside these have emerged new challenges as well as new opportunities. We are guided by the principles and values enshrined in the Indian Constitution and government plans and programs for change, welfare, inclusion, development of all its people. Let us examine some significant factors that have affected after the 1947. Means the plans, programs, welfare and development of the Indian society. After 1947, 15th August 1947, India was independent. And the first one of the basic part of our country is Constitution. Without Constitution, we are not called as a democracy. It's a basic features of the our community is Constitution of India. The Constitution of India was framed by the Constituent Assembly, which was founded on 6th December 1946 to write the Constitution of India. The head of the drafting committee of the Constitution was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. It is a document based on the strength of several constitutions, and it recognizes the diversity of Indian society. It cherishes the goals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. It supports secularism, means all the peoples are equal, there is no discrimination of their religion. All the peoples are equal. Liberty of thoughts, equality of all human beings. There is no unequal opportunities given to the Indian society. Everybody's are equal. And fraternity means all these, the people of India is a brother and sisters. Everybody's are fraternity. In the Indian context, this means respect for people of all religions. There have been numerous amendments to the Indian Constitution. A recent change has been the abrogation of the Article 370 in August 2019, which gave special status to the Jammu and Kashmir. After the abolition of this act, this article was right now abolished, and the new law was already implemented by the Government of India. Miss Article 370 and Article 35, which one is right now abolished and given equal status to Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh also. The Constitution of India was made after the drafting committee referred to the Government of India. The act was passed in the year 1935, as well as the Constitution of Australia, Canada, Germany, Ireland, Japan, South Africa, Soviet Union, United Kingdom and United States also. We are already accepting some laws, legislations, educations, some rules, regulations, all the patterns of the other countries, which one is already related to our perspectives. Now the second very main point of these constitutions and Indian society is legislation. Concern and problems of people and administration get recognized through academic research, scientific studies, media, advocacy groups and interest groups. Laws are made by the Indian Parliament. Several laws related to the civil and criminal matters have been enacted, which may be amended or repealed from time to time. Some social legislation that would be of interest to us are given in the box on the page number 19. Some laws is related to here, which one is already important in our perspectives. The legislative provisions of our country in the after 1947, and the first act was made by the Indian government, which one is in the year 1954, the Special Marriage Act. 1955, the Hindu Code Bill. 1955, the Untouchability Act, later renamed the Protection of Civil Rights Act, PCR Act, in the 1976, but the act was passed in the year 1955. In the year 1956, the Suppression of Immoral Traffic in Women and Girls Act, it is called as SITA, CETA. In the year 1961, the Dowry Prohibition Act, which one is very famous and related to the bride burning also. In the year 1971, the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, MTP. In the year 1985, the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act. 1986, the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act. 1995, Person with Disabilities, which one is Equal Opportunities, Protection of Rights and Full Participation Act. In the year 2005, the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. 2012, the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences, POSCO Act. It was amended in the year amended in the 2019. In the year 2013, the Prohibition of Employment as Manual Scavengers and Their Rehabilitation Act, 2013. 2015, the Juvenile Justice Act, Care and Protection of Children Act. 2019, the Transgender Person Protection of Rights Act. The number of acts and laws amended by the central government of India and state government of India means the social legislations of the Indian society. The laws, amendments, notification was made by the government of India and the state governments. Now the third very important point of the post-independence period is the economy. The economic growth of India until recently was guided by the plan development through 12 5-year plans till 2017. Each plan period has had its own objectives. It is necessary to appreciate the link between the polity and economy as they are two sides of the same coin. The dispensation in government influences the philosophy that drives economic decision. While we are driven by socialist principles for many decades, the government took upon itself the responsibility of education and healthcare in particular. It was in 1991 that a decisive change led to the onset, and some might say onslaught, of globalization. Indeed, globalization has its share of positive, but there are criticisms too, because there are also positive and negative sides of the globalization. Since 2014, changes such as demonetization, single taxation policy under GST, welfare schemes, borderless trade practices, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan drives to promoting entrepreneurships, etc., have been key points of the government of India, means the year 1947 to 2020. All these main objectives was decided by the government of India and the state's government. Next point is education. Education is very important aspect of the social life and also country. Education is one of the major aspect to develop of our country. Education, there has been a significant expansion of number of Anganwadis, schools, universities, deemed universities, autonomous institutions, IITs, IIMs, IITs, NITs, vocational programs, open learning, online education, self-learning opportunities, and so on. We are provided a variety of professional and occupational vocational programs to the development of students and our society. Enrollment numbers have been swelling and spinning beyond control in several cases. Indeed, there are waves of certain courses flourishing from time to time. For example, medical, engineering, IIT, IIMs. The number of teachers has also risen. The challenges of education have not diminished. The draft new education policy has been formulated in 2019, which aims to transform education across all levels, means all the sections of the society provided compulsory and free education. Enrollment in higher education institutes in India, the private sector is one of the biggest sector in our country. This one is given 2006-7 to the 2016. The criteria is given here. Means the rising the private schools, colleges, universities and institutes. Higher enrollment in the higher education, especially in the private sector also. Means our private sector is growing very fast and rapid change in the life of the people. Now the next point is polity, means politics. In post-independence India, we have taken on a system of governance based on the principle of democracy. India is the most populous democracy in the world. The three arms of governments are the executives, assembly legislatures, as well as the judiciary. We have the principle of democratic decentralization where power percolates down to the grassroots level. The Indian political system no longer recognizes the former statues of prince, nawabs, raja or rani. There is no any recognition is here. All citizens are equal in the eyes of law. Modern India has embraced the principles and practice of free and fair election. Voting rights are given to all the citizens of India on the attainment of the age 18. India also has a multi-party system, and parties may be a national, state, or regional in their character. Individuals also have the rights to contest in election. We also have a federal system of governance, center and state and union territory. The goals, policies and agenda of each government is guided by its own principles or ideologies. There are differences and multiple views of our country, for example, left, right and center. The role of the opposition is the responsibility of keeping a check on the government in power. Consensus is an important value in a democratic policy. It is hope that the introduction to Indian society has given a bird's eye view of our vast culture and the forces that have impacted the same. This will perhaps equip us to understand Indian social institutions, to study social change in India, and to examine the hurdles that we face with respect to progress and development. At the same time, we can view some important challenges that lie ahead of us in the future. It hopes all the points which one is clear, and the summary is very important of the first chapter is basic points is given there, which one is based on the particular points, just like first unit which one is based on the religious studies, then second point is patterns of our life, then impact of all different indigenous religions, and the last point of this PPT is in the post-independence era, the impact is due to the constitution, legal provisions, education, economic and political changes and reform movement also. Means all the changes after the 1947, which one is very important in these points, in these particular third points. Thank you.